My name is Mike, and when I was 11 years old, I started smoking cigarettes. And I needed money to buy them, but I couldn't get a job, so I had to find something to sell that other kids would want to buy. So naturally, I started selling porn. Because back in 6th grade, masturbating was the hot new thing. And fortunately, it was the mid-90s, so I was one of the few kids who knew how to use the internet. And, which meant I knew how to get porn for free, and they didn't. Yeah. Yeah, so I started downloading naked photos of women onto my mom's computer and transferring them onto 3.5-inch floppy disks. Sorry, discs. And I'd sell them at school for $5. I'd even do custom orders for $10. And, you know, kids would ask for all sorts of things. Topanga from Boy Meets World, Sabrina from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and who's the hot one from Married with Children? Al Bundy. So, anyway, eventually, the other kids figured out how to jerk off without me. So I had to find a new hustle. And luckily, there was a cookie factory behind my friend's house, and the tractor trailers they stored the cookies in didn't have locks on them. They were just zip-tied shut. And I had scissors. So I went into the cookie business. And my friend Kenny and I, we planned to steal as many cookies as we could, and keep them in the treehouse in his backyard, but there were way too many cookies for us to do it ourselves. So I went to the playground, and I found some 5th graders who agreed to help us out if I gave them free cookies. But I don't really understand why, because they could have just taken the cookies themselves. But you know what they say? Diabetic kids are easy to trick. So that night, Kenny and I unloaded the trailers while the 5th graders carried the cookies back to the treehouse. And it was kind of like, we were like Keebler elves if they were juvenile delinquents. And, you know, everything went off without a hitch. So the next night, we did the same thing again. And it kind of felt like that heist movie, Ocean's 11, except I was 11. But on the last night, it just turned into an episode of Cops. Kenny and I were walking up to the trailers, and we were in front, and all of a sudden, 4 flashlights turned on, and I heard the most terrifying thing I've ever heard in my life. Who's there? And the 5th graders ran into the woods, and Kenny took off towards his house. So I chased after him. And as we're running, Kenny starts yelling, "Mike! Mike! Mike!" And I thought he was going to get us caught. So I was like, Mike's not here right now, but he said to shut up, you fucking idiot. So we didn't get caught that night. But you're probably wondering how I got cigarettes. Well, in 6th grade, I got detention for a month straight. And because I stayed late after school every day, I got to know the security guard who monitored the buses. And I eventually talked him into buying me a carton of cigarettes every week. And I know what you're thinking. And I'm dancing around it like Michael Jackson. You think he was a pedophile. But that's not true. He thought I was cool. And he wanted to be my friend. Wait a second. So he was like 35, and I've been 35 before. You guys are right. He was exactly like Michael Jackson, except he couldn't sing or dance, and he definitely didn't respect my boundaries. But I guess it was kind of my fault, because I had porn and cookies. And, you know, because I was 11, I was literally a smooth criminal. All right, I'm Mike Brady. Have a good night.